All right, welcome back to another episode of the City of Gardens, Peach Trees. We are looking down onto our new housing area we built last time, which I think is starting to develop very nicely. A very symmetrical shape, which I always appreciate. We did just have some problems, but I'm not sure why we have sewage problems exactly. Maybe a treatment plant is or was on fire. Yes, something was on fire here, but that has already sorted itself out. That's a little bit an awkward start into our new episode, but hey, no problem. So we're still waiting for our Polytechnic Institute to level up, which we are going to do next year because I did put down a grant last time, so this will automatically generate an academic work. So that's very nice. I think what we can do, just to also increase the walkability of our areas, is to kind of have a hike up there. So people can walk up here, or it's going to be more of a hike, but I think that is something I want to do right away. So we can put a nature reserve path, which I think is going to be very fitting, like this. Of course, I chose the wrong path, but we can upgrade later. We want this one, of course. Yes, so people can walk up and down. Of course, at the moment there's nothing here, but our university will slowly develop into this direction. Now we do have a lot of housing demand and actually not so much space to zone that many more houses. So I think it's time to think about building a new area. And because we're approaching this piece of land here, I think it's time to buy this plot of land. So let's do that right away. 7,000, no problem. We have 2 million. So this will give us some room to think about how we want to expand the layout. Now, I would want, or I'm interested in building my high density area, or to start building it on this peninsula or this piece of land here. However, there's a couple of problems we need to consider. First, our highway is kind of blocked because we wanted it to curve around there, but that will mean that we need to buy this square as well. And at the moment, we only have one more square available where we need 2. And the next square we will only get if we pretty much double our population. So that's one of the problems. Second problem is that I would also want to incorporate a train station into our downtown area, which of course is also not possible because we don't have access to this train line. We do, however, have another square that will unlock this. So I'm thinking maybe we just buy the second square that's available to us also, and then see what we can develop without having the highway. And then as soon as we unlock this tile, we can incorporate the highway into our layout, or we might even cheese a little bit and build a tunnel through this square here, and then come out on the other side, and then connect the highway overground as soon as we can do that. So definitely we're gonna buy the square. Fortunately, we kind of wasted this square to access this piece of land, but it's fine. Right, so what we could do is already plan our layout a little bit and how it's going to combine, and maybe also discuss our future plans, because we also have some farming land or fertile land here. I'm thinking if the highway curves around like this, we could also use the area to the left of our highway to farm little bit because we have a lot of local and organic produce, so it would probably make sense to also have a big farming area to provide some goods to these areas. Also, that will yeah, look nice and give us some more income, although we don't really need it anyways. So here, I think we will transition into a more downtown looking area, which I think we can already start to plan ahead a little bit. We have this main road, which I will continue onwards into this direction, which means we quickly need to pause the game and delete this tram loop, which of course people will not appreciate. And I think I am actually going to not come out by a 90-degree angle because I'm more interested in having good area I can build here like this. But this looks very nice. Of course, we did not use the bicycle road, so we're just gonna use the normal road. Now I am going to quickly just rebuild the turnaround point like this, as long as we don't know how we're gonna continue with our city on this side. So how do we do this? I think we could probably continue this pattern we have here for a little bit long up to here, and then slowly transition into high density. And the same thing here, although I also think maybe here would be a good spot to put down some city services, because we're going to unlock, for example, the waste transfer facility, which we could then put here to pick up some trash from here and here, and then think of an area where we can put down the waste processing complex later on. So let's see how we could build a nice high density area. I think I want it to look rather square. So I'm thinking to introduce a monorail into our high density area, which is gonna go around our area. So I'm quickly gonna extend this for a little bit long and then see how we could do it. So let's see if we go up by 8,800 on either side. And then let's do like this. This will, or could be, the start of our downtown area, with the monorail going around in a circle, picking up people and bringing them to up here, which I imagine would be kind of a hub where some public transport is going to sit. For example, a train station that will connect up to the rail line there. Then I'm also thinking that, of course, we could take the tram line to here and have kind of an interchange stop between this tram and the monorail stop, which is going to sit there. So before we continue, let's put down some monorail stops with the roads. How much space does this need? I think we're gonna have to delete some of these roads again and see where we want these stops to sit. I think here is a good spot, like this. So the tram can come here and some people can move towards this stop here. And then I think we're gonna do 2 stops on this side. And then we can have 2 stops like this. Then have 2 stops on this side.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
And that's gonna be our monorail system that will go around. Of course, that's quite many stops. I'm hoping like this that the traffic inside our city not gonna be so bad. Here is the middle, that looks much better. And now let's upgrade this to a nice 6-lane with trees. And hopefully that's gonna take the traffic. And at the moment, of course, it's a little bit problematic because we do not have a highway interchange, which I want to sit up here. But we'll have to see how this works out, because at the moment that's just the way it is. Although I do want to extend this a little bit and then see how we can do this. Maybe actually we're just gonna have our transport hub or interchange on this side. So let's prepare for that by coming out with the roads. How far? 240 to 280 here, and then fix this 280 here, and like this. And this can be our public transport plaza around here, which will house a multi-platform end station. Right, something like this. And then we can have some other public transport options alongside there. Then what else do we need? For the moment, we can already connect up those train lines. But for the moment, we're just gonna have, how do we do this? Let's do that. And let's do that. And then we can see if we maybe want to use the other lines or the other platforms to maybe have a local line as well. Then, of course, we need a monorail line going around our entire area here. and then have one that goes the other way. Of course, this is gonna cost us quite some money, but as money is no issue, we can just set up the whole area and then slowly develop because we have a lot of demand for that. Then what we want is our tram line to kind of come over here and have a turnaround point along here. So let's see. Maybe let's have, or do we want, oh no, it doesn't centralize anyway, so let's do that, and then maybe do something like this. So our tram line now is coming over, and of course we can have a stop here, and then do we need another stop around here? Don't think so. So here, our housing or our tram line, of course, needs a connection. So can we just do something like this? No? Okay. Then we're gonna need a proper connection like this. Then we can decorate in between here, which is also fine by me. That's good. Let's quickly take care of some traffic lights. Of course, we're gonna have to take care of a lot of traffic lights as soon as we develop our area. And down here. So that's good. And now let's see how we can do it. I do want bicycle lanes throughout my area. Now this is our main boulevard, so we do not want to zone anything along here for the traffic to move very freely. And then we do not want to go too close to this intersection here. So what I might do is just put down some plazas around the middle here, which will have a nice effect on our housing and also kind of block me from building alongside here, which is going to be good because I definitely will do that if I don't be careful. And then of course these empty spaces here we can later on put down some road layout as well and have nice area and some decorations alongside there. So what I think I might do is actually measure how long this is. So that will be 440, 400, and have some secondary road come out with bicycle lanes. In the middle, if it will let me. Like this. Then that's gonna be 1, 4, 10. Almost, not quite. Like this, and this will give me, or this is gonna be like the big road that will take the traffic, put it on this boulevard, and then this boulevard will either go out of the city as soon as we have a highway interchange around here, or will at the moment lead it to this interchange there, which of course is going to lead to problems. I'm completely aware, but yeah, not much we can do at the moment, so we're just gonna accept that. So we're gonna do something like this. Then of course, before we forget, let's already bring in some power and water. Of course, this infrastructure is gonna cost a lot, so it's probably gonna reduce the amount of money we have a little bit, but I mean, as long as we're all rich, I think it should be fine. This we will fix later. And like this. Here we can do it when we need it. And then let's have some bicycle roads again and do something like this, which will then be our housing areas, which we can zone later. So this is pretty much the preparation for a very, very big expansion. So we must make sure, of course, we do want it to be symmetrical like this. And then we want to make sure that the zoning actually is on these bicycle roads and not on the main boulevard. Just so our traffic does not get too crazy. Like this, although of course I messed that up again. And then of course we also want to try to incorporate some unique buildings into this housing area. Now, how is this water thing looking? Of course, we will fix it. And which side is better? I think like this. Yeah, should be fine. And then how to continue? So many things to do. Let's quickly see if we have something nice to put in front of our train station that will nicely center. I think something like this will do. Or do we want a city arch? No, we can't. Okay. Meteorite Park. Nice big building, and it does center, so let's do it. Yeah, you arrive in our city, and the first thing you see is a huge rock. That seems very logical to me. Walking path, very important. So we, of course, are going to provide a lot of walking access to our city. So let's generously build walking paths alongside our housing area. Then we can also exactly see where we messed up with our roads. Like this. And then, of course, also on the other side. So people have lots of opportunity to get around in our housing area or in our downtown area. We're also going to provide some connections here for people to walk over to the main road, so they do not have to take a car and they can easily access the monorail, you know. Then here as well. Same thing here. I hope. Here we got sea level. I'm just gonna do that first. I just noticed something I messed up, so let's take care of that. I actually want these roads here to be a little bit longer, so they are almost at the end, like this. Also, that will maximize our zoning space and will allow me to repeat this pattern I was doing on the other side with those connections. Of course, they do look a little bit ugly, but oops, that doesn't connect. So let's try that again. Yes, lovely. Let's just do it like this. No. Oops. Come on. Is a thing now that this doesn't not snap to anything, and maybe do a little bit, yeah, like this. Just trick the system and do it a little bit crooked, so then it will connect up. And of course, another path here, another path here, and then we do want to have a connection here towards our main boulevard, so people can walk, and maybe there's just going to be a bus that will stop there and not much else. So we don't want people to have a reason to take the car. So we are going to, of course, maybe also provide some bus lines rather. Right. So this looks pretty good so far, I think. Of course, probably we generated 1 million traffic lights. So let's take care of those. I hope we do not need any stop signs, and we will just make it work like this. And I do know, of course, that we are going to need highway access to this area, or maybe even two, but for the moment we're just gonna try developing a little bit. Now, of course, what we also need to consider is how we want to zone this. This will also prevent us from zoning towards the main arterial, which is very good. However, we do probably need to zone some commercial and so on and so forth. So let me think about that. I think maybe we can have some commercial around the outside of, or on the opposite side of this road here. So let me see how we could do this. Now we probably will see if we quickly go out like this and do something like this. I think that will be good, and then we can do something like this, and this can be our commercial area that is introduced by a plaza, and actually two plazas, because like this will also have some desirable effect on this area here. And then of course we will also need some nice park areas for our citizens, and we will probably need something that has a good, I mean, the botanical garden is always nice, but I think we're just going to maybe put down the occasional small park like this, and we do go quite symmetrical as well, of course. And then let's just zone some high density. Oh, let's make a district first, of course, and see what we can do. Now, of course, because we want local and organic produce, it will be smart to also have some of this mixed in. So anything low density mixed in will automatically become local and organic produce. So for example, we can have some small neighborhood shops inside our high density area. But for now, let's zone some of this and see how this develops. And also, of course, we're gonna do that in a way that we are careful not to zone on the main highway, or boulevards rather. And then also on this side. And then of course we're also going to need some services inside our housing area. We're definitely going to need a big fire station, which I think we want to have good access to everything, which is up here. So let's also build a small area around here that will provide services to our area. For example, like a big firehouse and a big police station. Furthermore, we're also probably somewhere gonna need a big hospital like this one, and I think we can put that one here. And we're also gonna need some death care, maybe, no, not in our commercial area. Let's just put it somewhere where where it has good access, maybe around there. Then this stuff would also be very good to provide some service. So maybe put those inside this block as well. People from over there can of course also access this, no problem. Those guys can, on the other hand, have a sauna. And then we need schools. So we're gonna have school actually on, how much did we already zone? Here, I think we're just gonna do symmetrical school and high school here. So people have good access to this. And of course, power. We do need power coming over. So I am for the moment gonna connect up like this and then figure something out. And I think, do we have everything? Water, yes. I think it's time to unpause and see how this develops. So let's do it. We immediately have houses growing in, which is understandable because we have a very high demand. And yeah, that's of course gonna produce a lot of traffic because people will have to use this main road at the moment. Now, of course, we need to fix the power. For the moment, we do it like this. And then we will have some high density commercial alongside here. So here, and then just because we need it, we're also gonna sprinkle in some of this local and organic produce. Our monorail has started to work, which is very nice. And yeah, our train station doesn't have any power, which is not so good. And can we somehow see that some power is jumping over? Maybe, no, we do probably need to quickly build one of those. Right. So this, has no water, of course. Build a pipe here and connect like this. How is Leisure? Doing very well because of our very symmetrical pattern, which is also very nice. So we have loads of people moving in, of course. Traffic still doing fine at the moment, which is great. These here also gets some use, people coming in, which is great. I think maybe we can also beautify this a little bit as we move up to the next level. And the last thing I want to do today is introducing this garbage processing facilities, because this is also of course going to use or produce a lot of garbage. So I think maybe because we have the tram line here, I'm gonna do that over here, that I build a road coming out like this, and then have a service area around here, which is gonna include 2 of those garbage processing buildings like this. And then we need some space for this huge garbage processing facility. And then I'm thinking if we will have some industry, some farming up here, the highway coming over here, and have an interchange here. Maybe we can squeeze this garbage processing facility somewhere around here. And then as soon as we unlock this square, we can figure out how this is gonna look. I'm just gonna temporarily put this like this and just put this over there, because as you can see, the radius of pollution is very, very big. And then as soon as we figure out this or can finish this layout there, we can move it to its final destination. But don't worry about this. And this, of course, also needs water. Have it like this. And because this will also produce quite a lot of traffic, I think we are going to put a stop sign there. And we did also create some traffic lights there. Let's quickly check, go around, right, like this. Of course, already complaining about workers, but I mean, there's a lot of people moving in, so I don't see how people wouldn't want, or there wouldn't be enough workers. Let's quickly check on our university. We were building so long, of course. The university did not develop, but I think it was good to focus on our downtown a little bit. Now, I see. This also, even though we zoned it as high density area, just became low density commercial, which is fine. Our park, whoa, that was a lot of people. There's tourists, very good. With those people coming from here, let's quickly observe if a train is coming in before we wrap up this episode. There's a lot of activity going around here, and let's see if there's people coming in. There's many people coming in from the outside, which is very nice. And most of them are probably going to use this monorail station, which is perfect. And of course, we also will provide some buses and other options of public transport in the next episode. Of course, you can see we still need a lot of people, but I think we're gonna wrap it up right here and yeah, do that next time. I think we have a good start for our high density area on this side. Of course, this is not finished. We have a lot of empty space in between and also here, which we are also going to develop at some point because we have the layout set up. But like this, we can get in a lot of people, which then will allow us to reach the next milestone in about 12,000 people, which will give us a new square. And this new square will definitely be this one, where we can take over the highway to this and build an interchange around here, have farming area developing, and go towards our goal. Let's, before we end, quickly check on our goals. We have 20,000 people in. We need 50. And of course, we also need to build a lot of more squares of organic and local produce, which yeah, we will also, of course, do as we go along. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Peach Trees, our City of Gardens scenario city. And I see you in the next one. Have a nice day and bye-bye.